Oh, hey there, buds. It's a beautiful fall morning, and this aging millennial is going for a casual solo bike ride. We'll stop at a skate park, we'll stop to make a coffee, and we'll make sure to take it all in, nice and slow. Roll the intro. Being a morning person usually means you're an early riser. I haven't figured out that part yet, but I'm definitely someone who feels at peace during the morning. I feel strongly about sustaining that feeling when I can, and that usually means taking a slow ride through the city and enjoying all the movement around me. This was possibly one of the last nice days of this year. Our winters can arrive violently at times and be pretty harsh. On mornings like this, I try not to think of my day ahead, not consume any music or podcasts, and I have no planned route. Although today we do plan to stop for a little skateboarding and to make a coffee outside. Right now, the ride took us through a government-run farm in the middle of the city. While folks are starting their workday or making their way to work, I noticed a lot more people out than usual. In a city like Ottawa, I think a lot of people soak in an unseasonably warm day. I wrestle with the feeling of simultaneously being terrified of global warming and just happy to also soak in one more nice day on the bike. This canal I'm riding along will soon be frozen for the winter skating season. You can see here that Parks Canada has drained it for a cleaning and maintenance check. Then they raise the water levels a bit and turn it into the world's longest skating rink. Check this out. I think an hour had gone by at this point. Riding through the farm and then along the canal sort of took me around the perimeter of the city core. I was now riding through an appropriately named neighborhood called Centertown, and up the road from me is a great skate park. If the weekday morning serves me well, I'll have it all to myself. I loved skateboarding as a kid, and 15-year-old me would be stoked that I'm still out here in my mid-30s. 15-year-old me would also laugh at how many things I'm not willing to try anymore. I don't consider myself a good skateboarder compared to others, but I'm good enough to enjoy it, free of any pressure too. I really like this hip feature and wanted to try a frontside 180 on it, but I haven't done anything like that on anything other than flat ground for a while, so I thought I'd get familiar with how it felt. Now it's time to see if I could even do a 180. Good enough for rock and roll. And I know that wasn't really a full 180. It was more of me flailing 90 degrees. But I wasn't going to bother trying to get a smoother one this time, because I don't think I've done this for upwards of 15 years. And I definitely wasn't going to try this backside 180. Maybe some other time. I don't know if others can relate, but rediscovering skating after a long time away is way more relaxing than I thought. Again, I had a blast when I was young, and I loved learning new tricks for hours on end, but it wasn't always relaxing. Right now, I wanted to see how it felt to 50-50 a small ledge, but for the most part, I'm just happy riding transitions, hauling up and down stuff here and there, and that's about it these days. And I feel like the skate community now is more inclusive of this compared to, say, the 90s and early 2000s. So to wrap up this portion of the video, here's a few things I noticed as I rediscovered skateboarding. Number one, I thought I'd be the older skater now, but a lot of people evidently did not stop skating. Number two, I've noticed a lot of people, old and young, getting actual guidance on how to skate. That definitely did not exist when I was young. Number three, purpose-built skate parks exist. I think my hometown park was just slapped together by a local construction company. Everything was oversized. Parks now are way better for all skill levels. Anyway, I find there to be a lot of parallels between our little niche of alt cycling and skateboarding, so drop a comment below if you skate. And now we continue with the morning ride. I needed to find a spot to make my coffee outside, but first I had to stop for a pastry to go along with it. One of my favorite parks is right downtown near the Parliament of Canada, and that's where I decided to go for my coffee outside. Ottawa is a government city, and the downtown core is largely occupied by government offices, so it can be a pretty predictable area. Traffic in the early morning, quiet midday, and then it's a ghost town at night. I used to work in an office down in this area, and that's what led to me buying my beloved all-city bike I'm riding now. I was really into fast carbon bikes at the time, but I didn't enjoy commuting on my carbon bike. The geo was aggressive, and I only ran clipless pedals. I remember seeing this all-city in a shop, and I thought, hey, that'd be great for bags, and whoa, look at all that tire clearance. Little did I know this bike would become my number one all these years later. Anyway, as I settle in to make a coffee, let's have a quick look at how I packed the bike today. Starting with what's up front, I'm using an older Surly 8-pack rack and two voile straps to hold my skateboard down. This is my trusty Roadrunner point-and-shooter stem bag. It never leaves the bike. This is a Swift Industries hold-fast frame bag, and it's holding a mix of camera stuff and bike tools. This is my 10-liter saddle bag made by Atwater. It's mainly carrying my stuff to make a coffee and my freshly acquired pastry. This was definitely the slowest part of this ride. I like hanging out in this park. It's really spacious, and it's situated between some beautiful old buildings like the Chateau Laurier and Canadian Parliament buildings. A lot of cyclists who make coffee outside do a more thorough version than I am today, like boiling their own water with a camping stove or grinding their beans with a hand grinder. But in the spirit of taking things easy, I did those two things at home. Also, I just don't own a camping stove. The coffee still turned out really good. The aeropress rarely disappoints. I had the gift of time this morning, and after enjoying my pastry and coffee, I thought I'd go check out another skate park. I originally thought I'd only stop to skate once, but the day was so nice and I wanted another place to ride to. This park was about 10 kilometers away. We see our share of protests being in a government city, but you might remember the 2-week occupation that took place in 2022. We lived nearby, and photography was my way of coping. A small handful of those folks never left the area, and today they seem to be flying a Trump flag that lovingly says, "Fuck your feelings." Oh, and then I saw this really cool DeLorean. This is where I maybe overdid it. I remembered this park having more flowy transitions, but I forgot how big everything was. Most quarter pipes were taller than me, and I'm 6'2". I'm not a huge fan of skating fast on little wheels like this. When I was 16, I had a pretty bad concussion. I was absolutely sending it on my skateboard, and I caught a rock. I still have no memory of that crash to this day, and it definitely set my confidence back when trying larger features like this. I think I would enjoy getting better at riding bowls and quarter pipes though. I realized pretty quickly that I wasn't able to stay planted while riding around a corner on these quarter pipes. I always needed to pivot just a bit. I don't know if that's a speed thing or a truck tightness thing or something else. Ultimately, I didn't stay here too long. I successfully worked up an appetite and set my sights on an Italian deli. If you made it this far, I'd love to know how you would spend a slow morning on the bike. Let me know in the comments below. Also, a few people have very kindly asked us about a merch store. We're planning on launching bikebreath.com next week. Follow us on Instagram for updates on that. And if you can't wait that long, just shoot us a DM on Instagram and we'll share what we have available. Thanks so much for checking out our channel, and please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Peace.